You know, there are good chefs, great chefs even, and then there are important and significant chefs. A great chef is somebody who creates great dishes whose food you enjoy. A significant chef, an important chef, is somebody who changes the course of a cuisine. We're very fortunate today that my guest is Atul Kochhar, a man who's had more influence on the way Indian food is eaten around the world than most people realize. When Atul went to London to work, he was the chef who elevated Indian food to be on par with any cuisine in the world. He used the best ingredients, the best techniques, many of which he refined in London. And therefore, the restaurant he ran was the first Indian restaurant anywhere in the world to get a Michelin star. He left that restaurant, he started another one, and believe it or not, he got a Michelin star yet again. Welcome, Atul. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No,
thank you.
Great to have you. It's an honor to have such an important chef. I was going to ask you about rice and biryani because you've cooked with ingredients from all over the world. And one of the unusual things you did in England was that you were the first Indian chef to make Indian dishes with the finest ingredients. So do you use much basmati?
I always use basmati rice here, to be honest. But I think basmati rice suits really well to biryani.
Why? What's the reason?
It's the character, it's the flavor, it's grain itself. It lends to all the flavors. It has this absolute amazing ability to absorb any flavor that's given to basmati rice.
Oh, really? Okay.
But still shines its own flavor.
I always thought that basmati had a distinctive flavor of its own. I didn't realize that it also sucked up the flavors outside.
It does, because you know we add so many things in biryani, but you will still be able to taste basmati flavor, and that's the beauty of this rice. And biryani is layers and layers of flavors.
Yeah. So what kind of biryani do you make?
So because you invited me, I thought I will push the bar up a bit, and I'll make you a mushroom biryani.
So we're using basmati, right? This is basmati with long grains.
So this particular rice has got a long grain, and also it holds the flavor well.
Okay.
The grain doesn't break up with that easily. So it has all the right qualities in my opinion.
Would this work with all mushrooms, or do you use particular mushrooms?
So I go for little hardy mushroom. When I say hardy mushrooms, I go for shiitake, I go for usual button mushroom, portobello if I can get hold of. All the mushrooms that can hold the body, the good heat as well. And I'm going to do a little bit of cheat here.
Which is?
And I hope you will let me go for that.
Which is what?
So I've got a little bit of truffle paste with me.
Okay.
So I'll use a little bit of white truffle paste, which is quite intense flavor.
Yeah.
Works incredibly well with thick mushrooms or the forage mushrooms.
So what is it about chefs, basmati rice and truffles?
Truffle is actually, in spite of having such an intense flavor, it works incredibly well with rice.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't matter what flavor you have given to rice, spices aside, it still comes out and gives bang for its flavor. Making biryani is also an art, and you don't have to load it with the spices. Yeah. If you just work with the flavors, any ingredient will work with it, and something like truffle, which we want that to dominate, it comes out really strongly.
So what style are we doing? We're doing basically Lucknow, or?
We'll do a Lucknow style. So
okay.
we'll layer it up and then put the dum, take it out, and then serve you with it. I've not made any special raita for you.
Okay.
So I made a simple raita, just cucumber and onion raita. Hope you'll enjoy this one.
I'm sure it'll be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm going to make a wild mushroom biryani. When I say wild mushroom, I'm using mixed mushrooms, and there are some morels which have been picked forage. So the flavors are quite intense, and you need a quality of rice that can stand to the strong flavors of mushroom. So we're going to use Daawat Basmati rice, which is basmati rice of choice for me as well. First thing first, you need to wash the rice really well. Because if you overwash the rice, you get away, you lose some of the goodies, which is not right. Right, so I washed the rice and soaked it for a good half an hour. Start with the oil first, because you need the ghee or the butter flavor. So we got black cardamom, 2 or 3 or maybe 4 green cardamoms, half a teaspoon of black pepper, mace, which is a very strong spice, couple of bay leaves, a cassia stick. So let's add all of that into the oil, and it will start releasing the flavor immediately. Take the spices out once they have given the flavor out. cumin seeds now. About a teaspoon. Go with the onions. Pinch of salt. Okay, so onions are perfect stage now. A little bit of ghee. Sauté the ginger garlic paste. And just one green chili slit into two. All the mixed mushrooms. We got shiitake, we got oyster. Now you saute the mushrooms to a stage where you can see the mushrooms has started getting little kind of beautiful grilling flavor coming out of it. We'll add red chili powder. So coriander powder, cumin, because cumin works incredibly well. Fenugreek powder, garam masala. So that goes in. So the yogurt goes in. So few more ingredients to be added. Some ginger, julienne, coriander, lots of it, I love it. And we got some mint leaves. And I got some saffron water that goes in. So this is ready. Let's stop the cooking. So I'm going to parboil the rice. So we got some water going. I'll add some salt, green cardamom, 1 or 2 bay leaves, cinnamon, 1 black cardamom. Alright, so let's drain the rice. It's been soaked for a good half an hour. Okay, the water is boiling and let's drop the rice in there. So once rice comes to a boil, I'll remove the lid and start watching it like a hawk. Okay, rice is boiling really well and that's what I wanted. I want to make sure that I catch the rice correctly at the right stage. Otherwise, once if it gets overcooked, there's no going back. So we have strained the rice. Rice is just perfectly cooked. And we'll add the saffron water. And we'll leave it standing for a good 5-7 minutes. White truffle paste. And I use this often to my advantage when I'm making mushroom biryani in London in my restaurants. So I add that. Now we have our pot here. A nice thick layer of rice goes down, a good layer of mushroom. Nice amount of rose petals, fried onions. Add a little bit of butter. Good portion of ginger. Coriander, mint. And then another layer of rice goes on top. And then this is just plain dough where you make roti or naan from. And then we go on to set it up. So once we have done this, we would put it on the lightest heat possible on the stove for a good 7 to 10 minutes. Let's open this up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, wait. Let me serve you, sir.
Okay.
Is that good?
Oh, it looks great.
It's a good portion?
Yeah.
Shall I just garnish it a bit for you?
Yes, please wait.
And here we go, as I promised.
Yeah, wow. You know, what you said is so right about the aroma of basmati remaining through the whole thing. What a great dish. Many people watching this will, because we're talking about rice, want to know how do you treat basmati with respect? What should you do?
I think every stage of basmati is very important when cooking. When you wash it, a lot of people say, as if they're washing clothes, please don't do that. It needs to be done with a very gentle hands. When people say, wash the basmati till water runs clean, that's a big myth in my opinion, because if you wash...
Oh really? That's a myth?
I think if you just wash it twice or thrice, that's more than enough in my opinion, because you're washing a lot of goodies away. Whatever you wash away, the flavor also goes, don't forget that.
This is an amazing biryani. Is this on any of your menus?
It is on now.
It is on now. So are we seeing in some ways the inauguration of a variation, of a new variation on a very old dish by a very great chef?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It is just amazing, Atul. Thank you.